Hello! Welcome to another episode of GregTech New Horizons. This is Zyfear. And to start off today's episode, our first void metal ingots. Thought that was a quest. Okay, I definitely had 2 void seeds. I didn't know you were gonna have to hold both of them. Some of the quests are fixed and some of them aren't. A little life hack though, in order to make void seeds, moon dirt is the perfect recipe. That should be our quest. No? There we go. Concentrated darkness. I know somebody that'll like that. Now those 14 void metal ingots go into a bending machine. I think? Yeah. It gives us 14 void plates. And if you were with me last episode, that leads me to the next thing we're about to tackle. The Grandmaster Magic Energy Absorber. Now I'll be the first to admit, I got kinda carried away with the golems, and when I jumped back into this project, I made a bunch of the novice Magic Energy Absorbers. And it's definitely not what we want. That only created LV power. So let's do this right and finish crafting up all the Grandmasters. Check our stability, requires 10, we have an 18 booster, so we're good to go. Now we just need to harvest all of the essentia that we'll need. A lot of this looks like it'll be fairly easy actually. Ladies and gentlemen, our first Grandmaster Magic Energy Absorber, which appears not to be a quest. It's not really worth the quest rewards anyways. To go through the whole chain, I'll pass. Now another thing I also started working on is getting some of these yellow heart canisters. The only problem is look how much V they require each time we want to craft one. This is going to take a while. But same as the other canister, we can just take this and add it to the side and stack up to 10 of them, and we get a permanent health increase from it. I gotta remember to keep this thing here loaded, as our aspect requirement for these infusion crafts is through the roof. Hey, with 8 fresh Grandmaster Magic Energy Absorbers and 8 fresh dragon eggs straight from the dragon chamber, I think it's time we come over to our NASA workbench, start to assemble our T4 rocket. I completely jacked that up. I'm gonna press all the buttons in time. And at last, we can fly with our T4 rocket. Let's see where we can head to next. Now, checking the quest, it does say we need to use dense hydrazine. However, if we started on an older version and we still have some LMP 103S, we can use that until it is phased out in the next update. And just before we lift off, I'm just going to come through here and collect some quest rewards, just as a good omen. Ooh, look at that one. 164 blocks of iron for the beacon quest. My inventory keeps filling up so quickly because of all these quest rewards. This is insane. And finally, the quest tab I've neglected for quite literally months. Alright, we have a grand whopping total of 22 IV loot bags. Let's use them and see what we get. And the items start to bounce. Bunch of circuits, conveyors, fluid pipes, more rare earth ore, polyphenylene sulfide, another prospector. Looks like we got treated pretty well. Oh, but I do have a couple more, I almost forgot. some engraved lapatrons, more rockwasite, rare earth, 4 more dimensional transceivers, some pistons, and finally a couple ender tanks. And now with the new rocket silo, that could still use a little bit of decorating, I think we're ready to finally take off for I.O. Whoa, this looks like a little crazy of an environment. Oh boy, let the fun and games begin. And start the process of scanning for ores. Right off the bat, we've got palladium, infused gold, mithril, and even some monazite. Ding ding ding, we have a winner. Magnetite, sulfur, 2 mithril, and 2 infused gold veins. So we'll go ahead and load this chunk. The multi-block has formed. Maintenance problems have been corrected. We just need to set up power now, which luckily after probably 8 hours of crafting, I can do with dragon eggs for free power. Now before we go, we might as well go ahead and set up our last miner. Multi-block is formed and maintenance is complete. Load it up with mining pipes and attach our maintenance notifier here. And I believe we are all set and ready to enable this one as well. Just kidding, I forgot to hook up the power. Alright, now we should be cleared to enable. You see ores starting to be mined. I think we're good to settle and go home for now. Though I kind of forgot to check and see if we have a dungeon visible already. Well, it doesn't look like we found a dungeon, and these mobs are scaring me, so I'm going home. We have returned. Wow, if I would not have just seen that out of the corner of my eye, it probably would have taken me forever to find this. Now we can come and check our chests and see which ones are the ones that are actively being mined. Looks like right here is one of them. I was wondering why all the ores are going straight into this chest rather than this one, and it looks like I have the priorities all messed up. Also, now that I've refined ore processing a little bit, I was able to change this ore dictionary filter, which I still need to do over here on the other side. Now we can see just the few ores that I need to add to our drawer system but down below. And now I just wait for a little bit and make sure I grab everything that is new to ore processing, including the infused gold that'll be coming in soon. But with all of those resources gathered and ore processing working through them, I've made a few changes here around the base, the first 2 being right behind me. So one of the first things I did was install a new fluid detector cover on our sulfuric acid. It is not even working now that I'm realizing it. Let's take a look. Why are you not emitting a signal? You have plenty of fluid. Or is it not transmitting it across the facade? I'm so confused right now. Okay, I think it really was just the facade here. So we'll deposit that back in the system. And it's still going, so that was not the solution. Let me go down and look. For one, I want to plop him in here. And 2, what is the deal here? I never moved the cover. Good boy. Now the second thing I added that I have not yet tested, which is why there's no item in the frame yet, is a processing array for chemical baths, fiber reinforced epoxy boards, whatever they're called. I did make a quick little pattern for chemical baths, and it appears that the craft is not finished yet. What are we out of? Oh, it's too occupied by these LUV field generators, which I'll get to in just a moment. Well, I'm not going to cancel the craft, I'm going to let that run, so we'll come back and test this in a little bit. Maybe I'll do it off camera. One of the next things I added was over here in our EBF area. I have a little elevator to come down, and it's very closed off, but yes, I did add a mega vacuum freezer that'll help us process our hot ingots a lot more quickly. In turn, that allowed me to convert this vacuum freezer strictly over to a liquid helium processing one for now. And in working on these LUV superconducting coil blocks for the fusion reactor, I did come across a massive bottleneck. As we all know, the superconductor recipe does require helium gas or liquid helium. I don't know why you would want to use that if this was an option. And I ran slam out of it considering just how many coils we need to make. So one of the first things I did to combat that was came over here to our little crop area. I don't know why I say crop. It's kind of like fermented biomass distillation. But we added a distillation tower that intakes a crap ton of air and distills it down into helium gas and mysterious hydrogen blobs, which I haven't really found a use for yet. Maybe that's unimplemented. So this distillation tower is producing helium gas, as well as an upgrade to our HV centrifuge. I now have an IV one for endstone dust. But I quickly realized that our 1 or 2 low-level stone lilies that I had right here were not going to cut it. So I spent some time and started breeding up some more and got the stats up pretty high. Yes, I know there's resistance on them right now, but I have to get helium going or we're not going to progress at all. Now also, in making all of those superconductor coil blocks, we started to run into power constraints. I noticed that our information panel here states that we have no available benzene, and if we come and scan the control block here, we can see we're only generating maybe 2 LUV amps right now. I don't know, the math might be a little bit off, but this is not going well. Looking into the process, I ended up finding that, oh look, it did it right on camera, I love that. The industrial coke oven tends to cut off occasionally as it's not being supplied enough nitrogen. So over in our little fuel area slash chemical mixing area, I've decided to install a new centrifuge here. We're just waiting on a couple more items in auto crafting and everything is held up by these LUV field generators. Now why do I want these, you may ask? Duh. The whole point of this episode, which I'm not sure if we're going to reach it. But this Fusion Mach 1 controller is going to require 2 LUV field generators as well as a couple different ZPM circuits, some plates, nothing else that we can't handle. Now another thing, to make the fusion coil block we need these iridium neutron reflectors, so I'm going to go ahead and add a couple patterns for these and see how long this is going to take. And the first step of the fusion reactor. And of course the last item I need is just these superconductor wires, but we're going to be blocked by this craft. So I guess I'm going to spend even more time setting up more yellow stone lilies, and I'll be right back. And ladies and gentlemen, with a quick little power upgrade to the assembly line, a fusion coil block inside, and a restart of power. Matter of fact, let me do a backup because these materials are so expensive. And begin. For some reason it still doesn't want to start the craft. This whole time I really thought I needed 30, but I need 32. Alright, let me try this again. One Fusion Control Computer Mark 1 coming right up. Look how beautiful. All we have left now, apparently we have the quest, because it's all optional up top, but all we have left to do now is grab the rest of the superconducting coil blocks, which is going to take quite a bit of time. So I'll see you guys in a few days. Well, it looks like our coils are complete, which means we can build the fusion reactor. However, I'm going to take a quick little side quest. Let's do some magic. Whoa, what just happened? Oh, that's a good new warp effect. Got it. I've got an infusion set up over here. I was just waiting on the last of our aurum to come in, but it looks like that is now ready. Also, you might see I did go and gather 2 nodes from out and about, although I completely botched it as one of them was bright and was degraded because I didn't use the right jar. That's why we're doing this. Thank you, thank you. An unattuned node matrix. Rearrange our pedestals here, place some items down. Check our infusion. Let me not forget to see what essential we need here. Wow, and I just learned you can click the aspect and it gives you a little table here of which has what aspects in it. That's pretty cool. Although it didn't update the mushroom, even though I just scanned it. Oh. Okay. Weird. And I forgot we had already found something that gives us 1 tenebrae. We'll just feed these items to our thaumatorium real quick. Did one of the permutatios get lost? Oh, it was just glitching. Okay. Permutatio, tenebrae, alienus, and iter. Thank you. Our first magic mirror. Not that we really need it, but we do for this next craft. Items are in place. The Acubus recognizes the infusion recipe. Now we just need our essentia again. We'll grab some printed pages for the cognitio. Just using a random data stick that I pulled from the assembly line. Toss that in our alchemical furnace as well. And before long we should have all the essentia we need. Come on, you can get the last 5. Okay, it was glitched. Oh, we just got the Eldritch Revelation. Speaking of that revelation, our new sanity checker so we don't have to keep making paper over and over. Oh, I see, it's hidden in the top left corner. There we go. Now we can see our warp levels. Kinda, sorta. Doesn't really show the actual number of it, but okay. Maybe that was pointless to grab. We're shoving this in a chest for now. Alright, our next infusion should be 10, which is correct. Let's just grab the essentias. And we're just waiting on that to finish up. We should be able to craft an advanced node stabilizer. I think that was our problem here, as the node stabilizer prevents a node from bullying another. And now that I've removed it, this node is starting to bully this node, and it's not necessarily what I want. And our first advanced node stabilizer. Now with the advanced node stabilizer in place, he should start to bully him, and we'll see more Terra as well as a new Essentia Ignis pop up in here. And while we wait on that, I guess we have to kill some bats down here in this new area I was going to show you. Anyways, I do have another little area down here that I started digging out. It's going to take a lot of work in the future, but I say we can go ahead and set up the fusion reactor at the very least. So we'll use our projector on him and figure out exactly where everything needs to go. Now it should form. Whoa, look at that. What an interesting GUI. Now we just have to figure out how to power this sucker. I couldn't stand how ugly it was. I had to start redecorating now. Alright, our new fusion area. Let's just get everything hooked up now. Now I think if we grab some hydrogen from over here, or we don't, no worries, I have a quick fix for that, as we have over 100,000 sodium hydroxide that we can break down. So we'll grab a cell of hydrogen, grab a couple neodymium ingots, we'll throw the neodymium in the fluid extractor, should go straight into the fusion reactor, and our last step is upon us. I kill these bats first. I really just need to make that bat killer. For that reason alone, they move too fast. So I want to say if we input our hydrogen gas now, and go and enable the fusion reactor, it'll start to work. Now let's hope nothing has a vicious explosion, because this would be completely detrimental. Looks like we're okay. Every 1 second it's producing, and if we look at our information panel, we can see just how quickly it drains power. And our first few pieces of Europium have finally finished, and as the fusion reactor continues to run, we'll get more and more. We finally have our hands on this beautiful pink metal. Now with some fresh Europium, we can finally complete a project I tried starting a long time ago. The Ender Quarry. Ladies and gentlemen, our first Ender Quarry. I was gonna say that better be a damn quest. Ooh, it was an LUV quest too. Well, since there's a whole line, I might as well just make quite a few of these. That should be the quest, and our first friendly creeper has spawned. Hello, Brevidethel. Oh good, that's all it wants is all 3 of these speed upgrades. Which means I can just go in sequential order. We'll grab some ender markers. And I believe we're ready to return to Mars. Wow, I definitely screwed up. I only have 1 oxygen tank. We better make this quick. Oh, come on, hurry up. Honestly, I think I'm just gonna place this thing right here. It doesn't really matter where. I mean, we could go over here because we know we won't get too many ores besides the sporadic leftover. Yeah, let's do that. Here I am talking about needing to go fast. Alright, it says it found the attached ender marker, successfully established the boundary. Now what? I'm guessing I do have to give it power. That would make sense. I'm just hoping we can use GregTech power. Oh yeah, it's mining. We are set. Hi Mars. Treat me right. Now it's time to put my true plan to the test. Next, we'll just place an interface here, attach an item conduit to extract. I like to keep things color coded because I'm OCD. And just like that, everything is now entering the ME system. The literal last step before we end this episode is to come to our maceration stack here and add all of our new blocks. Now with everything being processed, if we come to the dragon chamber, we should see this start up here soon. Well duh, I guess I'd probably need to put this down. that it can actually receive its bismuth rods. And bada boom bada bing, we have more bacterial sludge being processed. Anyways, that's gonna be all for today. I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this episode. I finally got to finish my entire plan of making the Ender Quarry to automatically harvest us some Marstone dust, which we then will turn into a bunch of dragon eggs. Those dragon eggs, with Grandmaster Magic Energy Absorbers, that's free power. Anyways, thanks for watching, you guys. I'll see you again for next episode of GregTech New Horizons. Bye now.